So Donald Trump's horrific rhetoric at the UN aside, there was also a major scandal that has blown up here in the United States. Folks, I am talking, of course, about Escalator Gate. Yeah, the escalator stopped as soon as Melania Trump and Donald Trump stepped on it, and then they had to walk up a flight of stairs. Now, what's hilarious to me about this incident is that if you watch the video, which went viral this week, so I'm going to go ahead and operate under the assumption that you've all seen the video, but in case you haven't, or if you need to rewatch it, pay attention to something. Trump and Melania go to that escalator. What is everybody else in the building doing? They're walking up the single flight of stairs. Like, nobody else was even going to the escalator, but our fat tub of a president was like, well, I'm not going to walk upstairs. Have you seen my cankles? I can't do that. Everybody else in the building's going upstairs. Like, it's no big deal. Trump couldn't even do that because of his failing physical health. So they go to the escalator. Escalator immediately stops. And it's a big-ass scandal. KarolineLeavitt lost her mind over Escalator Gate. She shared a news clip that came out on Sunday from the Times of London that said UN staff members have joked that they may turn off the escalators and elevators and simply tell him they ran out of money. Now, that was reported by the Times of London on Sunday. KarolineLeavitt reshared it on Tuesday and said this: if someone at the UN intentionally stopped the escalator as the president and first lady were stepping on, they need to be fired and investigated immediately. Investigated. For what? It's not criminal. It's not illegal. If somebody at the UN did do that, it's a joke. Ha ha ha. Make comedy legal again, right, Republicans? Isn't that what y'all always said? That's what Elon Musk used to say. Fired? Maybe, I don't know. It depends on their policy. It depends on if the rest of the UN thought it was funny. But the escalator did stop. And for the record, we do know why. And I will tell you that in just a moment. Spoiler alert, it wasn't a UN employee. But anyway, KarolineLeavitt so pissed off about this that she goes on Jesse Waters' program on Fox News on Tuesday evening, where they do a full segment about Escalator Gate. And of course, they throw in the fact that Donald Trump's teleprompter wasn't running properly. And we also know who's responsible for that. I'll tell you in a minute. But this is the scandal. This is the big news that Fox News had to cover. It's the big news that KarolineLeavitt is out there throwing a temper tantrum over. My God, Donald Trump didn't have everything the way he wanted it, and that's just not okay. Here's what actually happened. Before Donald Trump got on the escalator, and of course you see this in the video, Secret Service agent, obviously, it's their job, he ran ahead of Trump running on the escalator, right, to make sure there's no threats ahead, even though you could clearly see ahead that there were no threats, but you couldn't see over the top of the escalator, and that's where the dude was going, and he had to sprint. The sprinting, the running on the elevator is what tripped, I should say, the emergency stop. The escalator is designed to detect that, and it stopped running. Because if you're running on an escalator, you can get hurt, or it could be indicative of some kind of emergency, in which case the escalator would stop, and as Mitch Hedberg famously said, it would become stairs. That's why the escalator stopped. It's not because of a disgruntled UN employee that hates Donald Trump. It's because his own Secret Service agent was running up it and triggered the emergency stop. As for the teleprompter malfunction, it was being run by Donald Trump's own staffers. So, yeah, all of those problems that Donald Trump encountered at the United Nations were, in fact, caused by his own incompetent people. Case closed there, Karoline. You don't need to launch an investigation, and if you are going to fire somebody, apparently it needs to be somebody from within your own administration.